me a cue when you're happy for him to key the national anthem. Just a few people sitting down. In your own time. Ready?
Please rise for the Saudi national anthem. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أصحاب السمو الملكي، أصحاب السعادة، أصدقائي الإعلاميين، حضورنا الكريم، أهلا وسهلا بكم في العاصمة الرياض. Your Royal Highnesses, honored guests, members of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Thank you for your support in attending. We are here for the official press conference of Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury in one of the most anticipated fights in boxing history. And after several attempts to get these two together, the talk is now over. In the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the place of the most anticipated international sports events, on the 26th of February 2023, the Truth at Dir'iyah will take place. Jake Paul takes on the biggest test of his career. Fighting boxer from boxing royalty, the Fury family, Tommy Fury is so focused, he is in training camp as we speak right now. And to begin with, please allow me to invite on stage His Highness Prince Fahad bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Executive Board Member of Skill Challenge Entertainment. Thank you.
في البداية أحب أشكر الجميع على الحضور، وأحب أرحب بالضيوف وأرحب بالإعلاميين الموجودين في مؤتمر نزال الحقيقة في الدرعية. شكرا للجميع على حضوركم.
Thank you, Your Highness. Please help yourself to allow to be seated to start the first panel, the Saudi boxing panel. Today's event is the latest chapter being written by a country whose passion and ambition for boxing is becoming recognized worldwide. To tell us more, I would like to welcome in our first panel as well the Vice President of the Saudi Boxing Federation and former boxer herself, Ms. Rasha Al Khamis. Also joining the first panel, Saudi professional boxer Ziad Al Mayouf. And to start our questions, our panel will start with Ms. Rasha. Tell us more about boxing in the Kingdom, Russia, and how the sport is actually growing in the region.
Of course. So let me start by shedding light on our current strategy and how is it taking forward and how is boxing evolving. So if we look at boxing, if we look at the boxing federation strategy, we do have 4 strategic directions. The first direction, which focuses on the mass participation. How can we make boxing the most one of the most preferred sports in Saudi Arabia? Another strategic direction that we're currently focusing on is the elite athletes. So how can we build that pathway for the athletes when it comes to competing at an Asian level, at an international level, focusing on training camps, development camps. A third strategic direction that we're currently focusing on as well is the organization, it's the governance, and it's everything around the sport itself when it comes to coaches, training the coaches, ensuring that referees and judges are actually certified at an international level. The last direction, which is around partnerships, and this is the major focus at this stage. When we talk about partnerships, it's partnerships with government sector and private sector, focusing as well on some international federations, MOUs, with European, with Americans, with Asian countries, federations, where we can actually work together to upscale the sport in KSA.
Thank you, Ms. رشا. تطورات كبيرة في الساحة الرياضية في المملكة العربية السعودية، وللملاكمة نصيب من هذه التطورات. كيف حدث عالمي مثل هذا يقام في المملكة يساعد خطة التطوير؟ رشا, how does this event support the strategy?
If before we actually shed light on this event, let's revert back to 2019 Clash of the Dunes and the impact that generated from Clash of the Dunes. If we would look at the tangible impact, you would see that boxing has grew by 300% when it comes to the athletes. Boxing has grew by 18,000 when it comes to fitness boxing. And then if we look at the number of clubs, boxing has grew by 50%. But let me share with you a story. So a friend of mine has been trying to encourage her 9-year-old kid to participate in fitness boxing. But imagine, since Riyadh on the Red Sea 6 months ago, or almost 7 months ago, he went to Clash of the Dunes, Riyadh on the Red Sea, and he was very inspired by the athletes, by world-class athletes competing in front of his eyes, which basically he told his mom, cancel everything, cancel all the extra curricular activities. I want to be a boxer. So if you would bring state-of-the-art athletes, if you would bring real athletes and they would see it, you would create many more of these examples. So I firmly believe in the future, if we still continue in these big events, boxing will be one of the leading sports, and we will definitely achieve gold medals at an Asian and international level.
Very nice. Skill challenge has secured some of the biggest fights in boxing history, ladies and gentlemen. سمو الأمير كمتحدث رسمي باسم سكيل تشالنج اللي في سجلها أكبر النزالات العالمية وذا تروث في الدرعية يوم 26 فبراير. خبرنا أكثر عن هذا النزال تحديدا.
والله في البداية طبعا احنا محظوظين بالدعم الكبير من القيادة الرشيدة اللي جعلت المملكة، هي المملكة أصبحت يعني محط أنظار العالم. فبالدعم هذا وبالاستثمار الرياضي الكبير اللي حاصل في البلد، وأيضا الدعم من وزارة الرياضة، أصبحت الحين المملكة الوجهة الأولى لأكبر الأحداث العالمية يعني. وهذا حدث يعني واحد من كثير أحداث وأمثلة حصلت في الماضي. فالحمد لله يعني كان عندنا مع هذا الدعم لنا الطموح ان نسوي نزال، نجيب النزال هذا في الدرعية، نزال تاريخي، نزال ممتع. حدث مثل هذا يعني كان عندنا الحرص انه يكون هنا، نستضيفه هنا في الدرعية في الرياض.
As Prince Fahad said, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, this is the place where the most anticipated international sports events are happening, and we have another strong card on the night too. في نزال آخر قوي في نفس الليلة يوم 26 سمو الأمير.
اي نعم، في نزال WBC cruiserweight بين بادو جاك ومكابو. بيكون نزال طبعا قوي ومهم وممتع لعشاق الملاكمة. وفي ايضا ان شاء الله يعني ابطالنا السعوديين بيكونون مشاركين في الحدث هذا، اللي طبعا احنا يعني يستاهلون التحيه، يعني مثل زياد المعيوف، محمد الكريديس ورغد. فان شاء الله انهم يعني شيء يسعدنا انه يكون حدث كبير مثل هذا يكونون مشاركين فيه، وان شاء الله انهم الله يوفقهم جميعا ان شاء الله.
Turning to Ziad Al Mayouf, a Saudi pro boxer. Welcome, Ziad. I would like to ask you, what are your ambitions to be, in such an international event? How excited are you?
First of all, I want to thank the United Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I want to thank the royal family. I want to thank King Salman and His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for the empowerment and the trust in their youth and their athletes to empower the 2030 vision and giving me that trust as well. It's a huge honor to do it. And I want to thank Skill Challenge and Prince Khalid and Prince Fahad for all the support and for all the help and for making my dream come true. I mean it when I say it. I'm living my dream. The Ministry of Sports, His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz bin Turk Al Faisal, for pushing me and supporting me always. Thank you. You've given a kid his dream, and I'm happy, and I want to thank you all. It's a dream for me, and I feel like a superhero, really, when I'm representing Saudi Arabia. You know, Batman protects Gotham City, Superman Metropolis, and I'm protecting Saudi Arabia. So this is what I do. And I want to be the first world champion for Saudi Arabia in professional boxing, the first undisputed champion for professional boxing in Saudi Arabia, the first multi-weight champion for Saudi Arabia. And trust me, I'm working, I'm praying, my faith in God is very strong, but after that, my faith in Saudi Arabia is strong as well, and I will do it not only for me, forget me, but I will do it for this amazing country in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, Ziad. Thank you. Appreciate it. Of course, our country is transforming, ladies and gentlemen. The sport is playing a key role in the transformation. We're a very young country with 70% younger than 35, over 80% of the people, on social media. So securing this fight with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury is perfect for our country, and the event is very big. And Ziad, I wish you good luck, and I hope you win.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
Rasha,
He has to win.
he has to win? Okay.
The law of attraction. I will win. Inshallah, I will win.
Rasha, you've been traveling a lot. What do they tell you about boxing in Saudi Arabia?
That's a very good question. So, as a board member on the Asian Boxing Federation and vice chair on the strategy committee at the International Boxing Federation, to be honest, I've met around 150 countries. And they were at first surprised that there's a Saudi woman who is actually speaking about boxing. But as we start entering meetings with them, they've been seeing our capabilities. We're showcasing our energy, and we've been showcasing the amazing events that are happening in KSA and in Saudi Arabia. And we've been actually hosting them to these events. So they actually would love to visit Saudi Arabia. They would love to partner with us, and they would love to join our journey as we evolve and grow.
Amazing. Thank you to our first panel, the Saudi boxing panel. Prince Fahad, thank you. Ms. Rasha, thank you. Ziad, good luck.
Thank you.
You have a way long to go now, huh? You just promised everyone that you're going to win.
Yes,
You better do it.
I will.
Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Your Highness, thanks very much for our first panel. And getting ready to transition to our next panel, ladies and gentlemen. While we do that, let's please welcome the three Saudi boxers. We're going to meet the fighters from Saudi Arabia. I would like to welcome on stage Saudi heavyweight prospect Salman Hamada, Saudi super lightweight prospect Ziad Majrashi, an up-and-coming prospect, the first Saudi female to fight on such an international stage, Riyadh An-Naimi. I would like to start with a couple of questions, ladies first. So I'll start with you, Riyadh. First female to fight. How do you feel? What are your ambitions?
Well, Is it working? Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm really excited. This is my first time ever doing this. And I just look forward to the fight, February 26th. I'm just ready to put on a show. Have
You
fun.
just don't like to speak. You just like to fight, huh?
I do, yeah.
That's what it is.
That's it.
Okay, Riyadh, good luck. I wish you the best of luck in the future, being
Thank
a
you.
Saudi female boxer. I'll move to Ziad Majrashi. What are your preparations for the fight, Ziad? تجهيزاتك للنزال. وجودك هنا يعني لك ايش زياد؟
وجودي هنا على الستيج يعني قدام وطني وشعبي يعني، ولي وأفتخر إني أمثل الوطن المملكة العربية السعودية. وأشكر خالد بن عبد العزيز، وإن شاء الله بنكون جاهزين يعني.
إن شاء الله. Our boxers don't like to speak, they like to fight. That's what they do. شكرا زياد. Moving to Salman Hamada, a Saudi heavyweight prospect. Salman, how do you feel representing your country in such an international event? كيف إحساسك وأنت تمثل المملكة العربية السعودية في حدث عالمي مثل هذا؟
أكون فخور وسعيد في نفس الوقت أن راح أكون واحد من اللاعبين النخبة المشاركين في هذا الحدث الإعلامي الضخم، وإن شاء الله نقدم المستوى المطلوب ونقدم الأداء المرضي. وأحب أقدم كلمة شكر لسمو الأمير خالد بن عبد العزيز.
شكرا رغد، شكرا زياد، شكرا سلمان. Good luck. موفقين إن شاء الله. We have introduced our Saudi boxers in this international event. I wish them great luck. Thank you to them, and I'm sure they will do their country proud, inshallah. As we have discussed, the undercard features a very anticipating WBC World Cruiserweight fight. To discuss more, I would like to welcome on stage Amir Abdullah, Head of Boxing Operation of Skill Challenge Entertainment. He'll take it over, and then I'll see you guys in a bit. Amir, all yours. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Thank you, Yasser. Wow, to see these up-and-coming Saudi boxers in this beautiful country and all of the ambitions that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has is truly inspiring for kids of all ages. I'd like to begin first and foremost by thanking the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for all of their initiatives in putting on the biggest and best events that there are, not just in boxing and sports, but globally in all kinds of entertainment. Furthermore, I'd like to thank the Ministry of Sport for their support. And finally, of course, Skill Challenge Entertainment, which I have the honor of being the head of boxing. And I have to thank personally Prince Khalid bin Abdul Aziz for his amazing leadership, his amazing vision. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but for all of the ambitions that he has in making Skill Challenge Entertainment Enterprises the biggest and largest entertainment enterprise and sporting and entertainment events globally, worldwide. So plenty of thanks to everybody. This event is really unprecedented. Typically you'll see an YouTube or influencer, if you will, bout, and then you'll have on a separate card World Championship boxing or actual boxing. The vision that Prince Khalid had for this fight was to make the biggest hybrid event. And we use that term hybrid because it encompasses the influencer world turned boxer and the professional boxer for world title fights and for title contention. You have arguably the biggest social media star in Jake Paul taking on his biggest test to date in his career against Tommy Fury. And on the undercard, you have former two-division world champion Badu Jack taking on the reigning, defending WBC cruiserweight champion Ilunga Makabu. So you have two great events here back-to-back, as well as a phenomenal undercard featuring many Saudis as well. Before I get into this, I would like to introduce and have the honor of introducing our special event promoter. Anybody that knows boxing knows this personality. He is a former and current title contender, knockout artist. He came all the way from the United Kingdom to be here with us. He's fought the biggest names in boxing, in Usyk, Fury, and he is here with us today. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the one and only Derek Chisora. Right here, brother. What's up? Derek, welcome back to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Well, Derek, this is a different kind of a fight. Or should we refer to you now as Sheikh Derek, since you're all blinged out now? In the,
No, just friend me as Derek.
Just regular Derek? Okay.
Derek, yeah.
So we have here a hybrid event. You've got the biggest, arguably the biggest influencers in the world turned boxer, and a world title fight featuring Ilunga Makabu and Badu Jack. What are your thoughts on these kinds of events happening?
You know what? This kind of events happening is good for the sport and it's good for entertainment. I always say when you have a show on, it's a entertainment. Either in Formula One, golf, music, and today, I think next week, 2 weeks from now on,
2 weeks.
Great entertainment. You know, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury, Badu Jack, Makabu, and the undercard. It's going to be amazing.
We do have an amazing undercard. It does feature 3 up-and-coming prospects from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which we just saw, as well as the return of Ziyad Al-Mayouf, undefeated right now. I mean, he had his first debut. He had a phenomenal performance on the AJ Usyk card. He'll be taking on another test, hopefully keep that undefeated streak alive. What do you think about these up-and-coming Saudi prospects and what the country is doing to give them this platform?
No, that's amazing because, you know, when I was growing up, when I started fighting, we had the same platform. And what Saudi is doing right now is amazing, you know, especially Prince Khalid bringing out this show for these young fighters, put the whole undercard, the Saudi fighters, so they can have that time to shine and do amazing things. And the young fighter, he said he's the new Batman for Saudi. That was amazing, you know. So he's put so much pressure on himself, you know, not to deliver the knockouts which people want to see.
Ziyad Al-Mayouf, aside from fighting very well, he's very well-spoken, and as you know in boxing, that's one of the biggest things is to be that marketable.
Yes, you know, but it goes on with the territory. The more fights you have, the more confidence you have on the microphone. For me, when I started, I could not talk on the microphone. Now, you can't keep me away from the microphone.
Our special event promoter, the one and only Derek Chisora.
Thank you.
Let's get into our co-feature, the co-main event to this amazing card. And I'd like to also thank all of our global audience that's streaming and watching live around the world from here, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We have the pleasure of presenting a co-main event that in its own right could hold the value for a main event anywhere across the globe. A WBC world title fight. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the challenger, former 2-division world champion, had fought 8 world champions back-to-back, and he is aiming for a 3rd division world champion. He'll be accompanied by his head trainer, Jonathan Banks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Badu Jack the Ripper. Badu, welcome back to Riyadh.
Thank you, my brother.
It's good to have you back here. Badu did fight on the Rage of the Red Sea. He made his Saudi debut on the undercard of Usyk Joshua. Got his win, and it landed him this fight here. But Badu, before I start with you, I'd like to turn this over, first of all, to your trainer, Jonathan Banks. For anybody that's unfamiliar with Jonathan Banks, he is a former professional fighter in his own right. Turned trainer under the Hall of Fame legend Emmanuel Stewart out of the infamous Kronk Gym in Detroit, Michigan. And Jonathan is now overtaking, aside from overseeing several world champions in training camp and as a head trainer, he is now overseeing Badu's training camp. So first and foremost, Jonathan, welcome to Saudi Arabia.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Jonathan, this fight here with Ilunga Makabu, you know what it means to Badu's legacy. It's not an easy fight for him. He's stepping up into the cruiserweight division, which he's moved up for the past several fights, but this is the pinnacle of the division. What are you doing to prepare Badu for the challenge against the champion Makabu?
Well, a lot of it is, you know, a lot of it is studying. A lot of it is physical workouts, just to understand his preparation. For this is going to be the single dangerous fight, most dangerous fight of his career. So in that danger, you must be able to you have to prepare physically as well as mentally. So, and that's what we're gathering to do now, and to continue to do is a hard physical and a deep mental training, because again, everyone knows Makabo is one of the toughest guys in his division, and this is one of the hardest fights of Badu's entire career.
Absolutely. And with that, we will bring in the current reigning, defending WBC cruiserweight champion of the world. He is accompanied by his manager, Tariq Sadi. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ilunga Makabu. Champ, good to see you guys. Tariq, good to see you. It's upside down?
Yeah. What's up, brother?
Well, let's turn these names upside down then.
It's only yours.
Right side up. It's only mine? Serves right. Tariq, welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you so much. I'm really
Good
glad to be here. Assalamu alaikum to everyone.
Walaikum salam. Champ, welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It's good to have you here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Tariq, let's start with you. We just heard from Jonathan Banks, head coach of Badu Jack. You currently represent Ilunga Makabu, as you have been for several years, and you've done a phenomenal job guiding his career. You've now taken him to, and the fight has landed in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on a massive platform, February 26th. What are your thoughts on this fight and Ilunga Makabu making his third world title defense against Badu Jack?
We are not in the first defense against Badu
Third
Jack.
defense.
Third. Sorry,
Yes.
excuse me. I'm thinking first.
Sure.
No, we train a lot. Junior is a current world champion. He come from a long way. He fight everyone in the division at the top. And we know Badu is a good boxer. We respect him. And he train really hard because he knows there's no place to play in the boxing. We must respect opponent and work very hard to keep the belt. The most important. And this is Damian Durand, the coach from Johannesburg. And we are near from here in a training camp. Nice place. And we are ready for the fight.
Outstanding. Before I do turn it over to Badu and hear from the champion, Makabu, Derek, WBC world title fight, Makabu Jack, thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, you know, I'm excited about this fight. You know, I've seen Badu Jack fight my friend James DeGale. You know, that was a great fight. And I see this man fight Tony Bellew in Liverpool for the WBC, the same belt he's got now. So this is going to be a cracking fight. It's hard to pick, but you know, the champion is coming to keep his belt. And Badu Jack has to prepare to go to the other side. You know, I hear his coach saying he's training mentally and physically. But how do you train a man physically and mentally? If you don't train that yourself, you know, it'll be a long night for you fighting this man. And this man is an animal. I've seen him fight so many times, and I know your brother as well. You know, yeah, your brother is an animal as well. So it's going to be a great fight. I'm excited.
It's absolutely going to be a good fight. And for the global audience, February 26th, it goes down in Diriyah. The Truth. Ilunga Makabu, the current reigning, defending WBC champion, will take on the challenger, former two-division world champion, aiming for his third division world title, Badu Jack. Badu, you're coming into this fight as a challenger. You're back into title contention. During your career, you fought 8 world champions back-to-back, so this stage is not new to you. This kind of competition is not new to you, but you are facing a world champion at a heavier division. What does this fight and securing a third division world title mean to you?
First of all, assalamu alaikum. And I want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Ministry of Sport, and Prince Khalid for giving me this opportunity. As far as the fight, it's dare to be great. I became champion of super middleweight, a light heavyweight, and you know, it's time to go to the next weight class. So I know Makabu is a great champion. We sparred before. I like his team. They're friends of mine, but this is just business. And when we was talking about training mentally, there's nothing you can train. You either got it or not. You believe in yourself, you don't need to train. The only thing you train is physically. This is the hurt business. So if you're not mentally ready, you pick the wrong sport. But yeah, I'm in great shape. I can't wait to perform.
I'll turn it over to the champion, Ilunga Makabu. Ilunga, this is the third defense of your WBC world title. What does it mean to you to defend your title on such a big platform here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
Thank you very much. I would like to say thank you to God who gave this opportunity for me to be here in Arabia Saudite and to meet the Prince. And I say also thank you to the King of Arabia Saudite. What I can tell my friend Badu is you cannot sleep and wake up be a champion. To win a belt is a problem. To protect it also is a problem. But to be a champion, you must be tough, is what I can tell you. Good luck, Badu.
That's right.
Badu, we'll turn it back over to you.
Oh.
It's not going to be an easy fight. Makabu is a strong southpaw, very strong left hand. In his own right, a knockout artist, has put on some great performance, some knockout highlight reels. What are you doing to prepare for Makabu?
I mean, this is nothing new to me. I've fought all the best fighters in the world. I know he's a very tough fighter, and I don't expect it to be easy. It's going to be a tough fight, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready to win.
Champ, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you'll have the last question. Predictions on this fight. You're making your defense here. What happens February 26th in Diriyah?
What I can say, I cannot say Badu is wrong, no. But I want to show something to the new generation of Arabia Saudi. All the kids who love boxing. I want to show them then there's someone who got skilled and they bring something in Arabia Saudi, that is Junior Makabu. Then Badu must expect something different. Is what I can say. Thank you.
Derek, these guys are too much a gentleman. What's the prediction on the fight?
You know what, yeah. You know, these guys talking is like watching paint dry. Yeah. They don't talk fight talk, but I can guarantee you when they fight, it's not watching paint dry. It's like watching blows after blow. So basically, you know, Badu Jack is reserved. He's not ready for the fight talk. This man is ready to defend his title. You know, so I'm just excited for this fight. You know, and I say to brother, if you don't come prepared mentally, physically, and go through to the other side, you know, it's going to be a tough night for you. But this man here, the same thing. He's going to come and keep what's his. So your mindset, it has to be, you have to come and take what's his. Do you understand? If you don't come with that mindset to come and take what's his, it's going to be a long night for you. So I'm excited.
I think we're all excited to watch this fight. It will be a tremendous fight against the current reigning defending champion and the up-and-coming challenger. And with that, I'll ask both gentlemen to please step in front, and we'll have an official face-off where media, please help yourselves. We'll be able to take pictures here up in front. And if I could please call His Highness Prince Fahad bin Abdul Aziz so we can square off with the two fighters. Okay, gentlemen, face the crowd. Face the crowd. Face the crowd. Please, media pictures. I need this thing. Sorry? I need this on. I need this on right away. I need this on. What's next? Okay, you can sit back down in your chair. Okay. There it is. That is the WBC Cruiserweight Championship fight, and we're always excited to have such high caliber fights on these kinds of events. As you've seen before, and Skill Challenge proudly brought some of the biggest events, not just in the heavyweight division, but in boxing all around. The undercard on the Jake Paul, Tommy Fury card, co-featured by Badu Jack and Ilunga Makabu, will also feature some up-and-coming Saudi prospects that you've seen here on stage, as well as the return of Ziyad Al-Ma'youf. We also have prospects undefeated cruiserweight Muhsin Kaysen out of Baltimore, Maryland. He'll be taking on another challenger and to continue his undefeated record, as will Adam Saleh, very popular influencer that will be on the event as well, turned pro boxer. He'll be taking on another opponent as well to continue his career in his own right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring in the main event of the evening. We have a tremendous, tremendous card, which is going to be one of the highest viewed fights in the history of influencer turned boxer. And I'm sure you're going to hear from them and talk about how important this fight is, the significance of this fight, and what it means to them. So without further ado, I would like to bring up the panel consisting of co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, Mr. Nakisa Badarian, as well as Jake Paul. I'd also like to bring up the co-chairman of Queensberry Promotions, George Warren. And the president of the Saudi Boxing Federation, Abdullah Al-Harbi. And if I could bring back up also His Highness Prince Fahad bin Abdul Aziz. Welcome to the panel here. This is the main event panel for the February 26th event, Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. It goes down in Dir'iyah. The talk is over. The truth at Dir'iyah happens, and we will find out how good is Jake Paul against a legitimate boxer in Tommy Fury. Before I do get started, I would like to turn it over to Mr. Abdullah Al-Harbi so he can talk about the initiatives of Saudi Arabian boxing, the prospects that are coming up, and everything that's planned here for the kingdom.
First of all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think within Vision 2030 today, we're witnessing that boxing is becoming the sport when it comes to Saudi Arabia. Today, Saudi is becoming the third destination for boxing, one of the top three actually within the world, and we're happy to see our friends. This is the second time that Derek is here. This is the second time that Jake is here. This is the second time that Badu is here, and it's truly becoming the shrine of boxing in the world. We look forward for an amazing night again and again. This particular match in specific is one of the matches that is truly going to change personally for us boxing in the kingdom. We witness within all of the different other events a growth in boxing that is almost 300%. We saw a growth in the number of participation and as well in terms of clubs. But for the first time, and specifically because of the Saudi youth population, we're predominantly youth, 70% of our population is under the age of 35. This is going to be the match that is hopefully going to be the catalyst for a new generation to be exposed to the sport of boxing and hopefully participating in it. We have one of the highest penetrations when it comes to YouTube in the world, if it's not number one. For the first time ever, by the way, my son Ahmed started to say, I want to come and watch boxing. So thank you, Jake. Thank you, Tommy, for bringing that to us. And we hope actually to see more and more of the new generation coming to boxing because of this match, inshallah, in the kingdom.
Thank you, Abdullah Al-Harbi, the president of the Saudi Boxing Federation, which have some phenomenal vision for the growth of boxing in the kingdom. Abdullah, you had brought up a great point here about this new audience that's now watching boxing because of people like Jake Paul, because of the influencers turned boxers, and it brings and it attracts an entirely different audience, an entirely different demographic to a sport that was predominantly one set demographic. Prince Fahd bin Abdul Aziz, what does a fight like this, where you have influencer, quote unquote, turned boxers on the same card with a world title fight, what does that mean for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
Well, we always raise the bar here in Saudi Arabia and in skill challenge. So we always host and look for the big fights and great fights. And this is going to be one of them. I know that. It's called The Truth. So we're just, all the people are happy and waiting for this fight to happen. Two great athletes. And we hope it's going to be big.
And I'm sure it will be big. The world will be watching in Diriyah February 26th. I'd like to take it over to George Warren. Welcome back to the Kingdom, George. Good to see you again. George, you represent Tommy Fury, who is currently back in the UK. He's training hard, and he's training hard for this fight. You've seen his father come on and say, listen, regardless of what happened, all of the fights that didn't happen, we're coming to Saudi Arabia. And he's made some interesting, quote-unquote, predictions or threats or what's going to happen on February 26th. What can you tell us about Tommy's preparation?
Well, it's going really well. Everything that we're hearing from camp is that he's looking excellent in the gym. He sends his apologies for not being able to be here in person. He's dealing with a private and personal matter at the moment, but make no mistake, he's going to be here. He's going to be here in due time to publicise and promote the event. We're planning, I believe, to bring him in 10 days before the date of the event, and he's here to win. It's not for him looking at this as just, you know, about Jake Paul. This is about his name, his reputation. He comes from a fighting family. You know, everyone knows his big brother, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson. And that reputation and that legacy that's on the line for his reputation and his family is important to him. So make no mistake, he's preparing. He's going to be disciplined on the night. Jake is showing that he is not just an influencer boxer. You know, I come from a family legacy business that is involved in professional boxing. My dad's been in the business now for 42 years, and I don't think it's right to call Jake an influencer boxer. He's a professional fighter. This is a professional fight between two great athletes that just so happen as well to have fantastic social media presence, and I assume that is one of the reasons why we're privileged to be in the kingdom for this event, because of that young demographic that we have here and their feeling towards social media. So I think we're going to have a great night. Tommy is going to be fantastic, I hope. I hope he gets the win. No disrespect to Jake, but may the best man win.
Let me ask one more follow-up question to that, Jordan. You had brought up that Tommy comes from a boxing lineage. He comes from boxing royalty. Tyson Fury doesn't need any introduction in the world of boxing. Does that add, from what you know of the camp and from Tommy, does that add any extra pressure on him that he is fighting the likes of Jake Paul and he has all of this pressure on him to represent his family legacy?
Yeah, I think there is pressure, but I think both guys are going to be going into there knowing that what the win can do for them and establish them in professional boxing. It's an important night for both of their careers. You know, people win, people lose. That's sport. That's professional sport, particularly in boxing. We see that all the time. But make no mistake, he knows that there's a lot on the line here, and he's not coming to make up numbers. He's coming to put on a real show and hopefully bring that win back for the United Kingdom.
Very good. Derek, The YouTube boxing is new. It's a new phase into boxing, and it's here to stay. It has produced the likes of Jake Paul, who have turned in professional boxing. He currently boasts an undefeated record, 6 wins, 4 of those by knockout. What's your take on this new era of boxing?
Listen, as I keep saying, entertainment. You know, if I could go back, I'll become a YouTuber boxer, to be honest with you. But I can't though. But, you know, I might transit to be a YouTuber boxing now. You know, this is a great fight. Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. You know, pressure's on Jake Paul, to be honest with you. You know, he's called out a professional fighter. And if Tommy loses to Jake Paul, you know, he's going to be a laughing stock. You know, he got beat by a guy who plays video games. You know, so, and I know this man here on my side, he's hungry. He has got no fear. I've seen in his eyes before. He's not scared of the Furies. So it's going to be an exciting fight. I've seen him knock out so many guys. And he likes to, he's in the gym every day. You know, Tommy is a good fighter, but he's not here today. I don't know why. His family, what you say he's facing?
No, I said he's dealing with a private matter at home. I mean,
A private matter. He sent you. Great, thank you. Yeah, so it's going to be an exciting fight. You know, somebody's going to get knocked out. You know, the problem child, is that what they call you?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Why they call you that?
Because I'm a problem for people in the ring.
Oh, wow, delicious. You know, yeah, so since he's not here, are you annoyed or you upset or what?
No, I'm used to his behavior at this point. You know, he's unprofessional. He's a flake. He's not a serious businessman. He's not a serious fighter. And I'm going to prove that. That's why this fight's called The Truth, because the truth's going to come out. And he's going to have to pay for all the times he pulled out, all the business people he screwed over. It's disrespectful. There's some of the biggest names in boxing, some of the biggest promoters in the world, some of the most influential people in the world, one of the greatest countries in the world, and he doesn't want to show up because, a private matter. Cool. Yeah, we all have private matters. When you sign up to do something and you make a commitment, that's what it should be about. And it just shows me that he's scared, because he said he didn't need to train for this fight. Oh, I could fight Jake Paul and I don't even have to train. But meanwhile, his excuse first was that he had to train extra for this fight, and now apparently it's a private matter. So it's typical Fury stuff. I love Tyson, but I'm saying the dad and Tommy, it's typical from them.
Okay. I hope he's listening to that. I'll be excited to watch this fight. So, how many rounds do you think the fight will go on?
3 to 4 rounds. The kid's never been tested. He's never been in a hard fight. His combined record of opponents is 20 wins, 200 losses. He's never been 8 rounds. He's never been in there with a dog. And I have something to prove. I have 2 chips on my shoulder. People say I got a chip on my shoulder. I got 2 of them. And he's been spoon-fed his whole entire life. Piggybacked off of his brother. Got into the business because that's what he was supposed to do. He didn't know anything else to do. Got famous off of some reality show, and now is just riding the wave, trying to get a paycheck so that Molly isn't the one making all the money in the relationship. But I'm going to show him on February 26th that this is the hurt business. He's not going to like this sport after I'm done with them.
You know, the way I'm seeing this is like, if he beats you,
not a possibility.
Okay, let's say if he beats you, yes.
I mean, we could talk about aliens. We could talk about UFOs, stuff that doesn't exist.
They only come out in America.
He can't beat me. It doesn't exist.
They only come out in America. Yeah, but if he beats you, yeah, yes, he shouldn't beat you. But if you beat him, he got beat by a YouTuber. So what I'm trying to figure out is your last 4 opponents. Yeah, your last fight, where was it? In Vegas?
No. Arizona. Phoenix, yeah.
You British. And your last shot you knocked him down on, people didn't say you didn't catch him right or not, and he stayed down. Can you try and correct that for me?
I mean, it's hilarious. Like, there's multiple camera angles that show the punch landing on his chin. it's disrespectful to Anderson Silva, one of the greatest combat strikers of all time, one of the greatest combat athletes of all time, to say that he took a fall or took a dive. And he was coming to fight, coming to win, trying to take my head off, and I was the better man that night.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Jake Paul is never short for words, but before I do officially bring it back over to Jake for a couple of questions that I have myself for him, on top of a lot of the questions that I think everybody was on their mind that Derek asked, I'd like to bring in and welcome Nikisa Badarian. He is the co-founder of MVP, Most Valuable Promotions, and the business partner of Jake Paul. Nikisa, first and foremost, welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Nikisa, you and Jake started MVP, Most Valuable Promotions. It was really based around Jake, and as it now grew to fruition, you have fighters that you've signed. You had a phenomenal fight card that you were a part of last weekend. Your fighter, Amanda Serrano, was crowned the undisputed women's champion, and I believe she'll be in attendance for Jake's fight February 26th. This whole promotion was built initially around Jake. How do you combat the criticism that Jake is just a YouTuber, a Disney kid turned boxer?
To be honest, that's what drives the interest. When I met Jake, the only question I had for him was, do you want to work hard, or are you going to be dedicated to boxing? And the moment he said yes, I knew it was going to be an unbelievable pathway to success for him. He's had 6 professional fights, 5 of them as pay-per-views, 4 of them as the headliner to start his career. That's unprecedented. He's driven over $150 million of revenue in his 6 fights. Unprecedented. The level of competition that he's facing for someone as high profile as him, again, unprecedented. Compare it to Floyd Mayweather. Compare it to Gervonta Davis. Compare it to Canelo. Their first 10 fights, they were not taking the risks that Jake Paul is. So in terms of being able to face the criticism, that just means there's interest, there's engagement, there's demand.
Well said, and fair enough in that. Jake does have 6 fights, and the 6 fights that he has, the last 2 are notable names, former world champions. The last fight in Anderson Silva. Nikisa, you and I have had these conversations before. I told you as soon as that fight was announced, I said, brother, what are you thinking? That is a terrible fight for Jake. The guy is long, he's southpaw, he's awkward, he's very experienced, but you were very confident in Jake's ability to take that fight, and it worked out. So kudos to you. Tyron Woodley, again, UFC veteran, a legend in his own right, 2 fights back-to-back. And those are really the 2 notable names that have been on his record. Jake, let me turn it over to you. First of all, welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for having me, this beautiful place. Thank you to the Ministry of Sport and Prince Khalid. I love it here, so thank you guys so much for having me. Shukran.
Afwan. Jake, do you feel extra pressure from this fight? Now, look, let's talk openly. Everybody says he's never fought a real boxer. He's never fought somebody that is a purebred boxer. He's fighting MMA guys. He's fighting old guys. He's fighting basketball players. Do you feel pressure in taking this challenge and fighting not just a real undefeated boxer, but somebody that comes from a boxing family?
I don't feel the pressure. This is just another fight to me. This is what I do for a living now. I spar against harder professional boxers in the gym than this guy, world champions, people who are ranked #1 in their division. I'm sparring Moosin Kaysen, who's on the undercard. Shout out to Moosin, but I'm sparring, Chad Dawson. The list goes on. Multiple world champions, and Tommy is just another speed bump. And I'm gonna prove that I'm here to stay. I'm going to prove my work ethic. I'm going to prove my power, my stamina, my athletic ability, and my boxing IQ. That's one thing that people don't really realize, that I take this sport seriously. I study it. I live, I breathe this sport. And Tommy is just not that guy.
Well, let me flip the script then, Jake. Do you think Tommy, you've heard Tyson Fury say, if Tommy Fury loses, he can just stay in Saudi Arabia. Do you think that mounts pressure on Tommy?
I think there's a ton of pressure on him. He's never been a main event. He's never fought 8 rounds. He's never fought someone like me. He's never done this much media, this much attention, this much trash talk. So the pressure's going to get to him. He just had a kid. You know, this is really his only chance to become something. After this, it's, you know, it's back to whatever the kid does. So the pressure's on him for sure. And he probably will have to stay here in Saudi, and maybe he wants to. It's really nice here. Maybe he can become Cristiano Ronaldo's, you know, masseuse or something.
All right. Let's turn and talk about a little bit about the question that I asked Nikisa. Do you feel the pressure? I mean, how do you handle the criticism of, listen, Jake Paul is not a real boxer. He's an influencer that's dabbling in boxing. I think very few people know of the commitment that you've made in moving, selling your house, and doing this thing full time. How do you handle that criticism, Jake?
Look, I embrace it. I embrace it. Whenever you're doing something different, whenever you're changing the game, innovating, people are going to be mad. Of course the taxi drivers were mad at Uber. Of course. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing things differently. I'm shaking the pot. And I get that. I have to prove myself. I let my actions speak louder than my words. And I have a lot of words. And I say a lot of stuff. But I always back it up with action. And people will see how serious I am. This is my life. And I don't take it lightly. It's a very serious sport. It's the hardest sport in the world, and I've played every single sport. And so I know that when you're in there, your life's on the line. And if you think that I take my life as a joke, then you're playing yourself.
Jake, you've made some announcements of different things that you're doing, and I know you're not looking past Tommy, but what are your plans after Tommy Fury?
I think I'm going to call it Prince Khalid and see if we can just vacation in Saudi. I might just chill out here for a bit, you know.
I think Prince Khalid would love to have you vacation here back in the kingdom.
And Tommy's going to be here too, you know, so maybe I could beat him up again.
I remember when you made you had your first fight on your brother's undercard in Manchester. And you had fought Deji. You had a great performance. After that, you fought another influencer in Anderson Gibb. Tremendous performance. Then it went on to Ben Askren. Then it went on the 2 Tyron Woodley fights. And then it gradually grew into the Anderson Silva fight. And I'll tell you, and I think that a lot of people have the same kind of mindset, is that was the test for me to see if this guy can mount under the pressure. But this test is the truth in you fighting a real boxer. Have you prepared any differently for Tommy Fury than you have your previous opponents?
Not at all. Yeah, I always take my opponents super seriously. And Anderson Silva, you know, has been in there with the best people in the world. Tommy Fury hasn't. I was messaging with Tyron Woodley today, actually, and he was like, man, Tommy's an easier fight than me and Anderson. I was like, yeah. But that's not what the people think. What does real boxer mean? I mean, anyone can go down the street and get a professional boxing license, you know? There's people who just do it for paychecks. He has a last name, a glorified last name, and that's what's gotten him this far. And he's, you know, semi-good looking and was on a reality show. But real boxer, whatever it is, I've been in there with real fighters who were the best combat strikers at the time in their generation and outboxed them. So February 26th, that's why it's called The Truth. We will see the truth of who the real boxer is.
Jake, I got to ask you, and it's the question that I've wanted, and I know you usually don't ask boxers this, but I am going to ask you, what is your bold-faced prediction for February 26th in Riyadh?
I'm knocking him out 4 rounds or less. Bet the house on it. Put your mortgage on it.
Derek, thoughts?
What happens if he knocks you out?
He couldn't knock out Daniel Bochinski, a taxi driver, in 6 rounds. The guy doesn't have power. He couldn't knock out Anthony Taylor. Couldn't even wobble him. Couldn't even hurt him. Anthony Taylor was 25 pounds less than the guy. The guy doesn't have a high KO percentage. And yeah, normally I build up my opponents, right? But it's just hard. It's just hard. Like, I don't know. I'm just telling the truth, and people are gonna see. People are gonna see, and I don't know. Like, they're gonna be astonished, I guess.
George, you've been listening here. You've been going back and forth and listening to all of it. Thoughts on Jake Paul's predictions?
We're going to get the truth on February the 26th. We're going to see the truth. Is Tommy Fury a Fury fighting man? Is he going to be able to show that there's a difference between fighting strikers, MMA fighters, and professional fighters? Or is Jake going to show everyone the capabilities that he's got as a professional boxer, and that he can go on and achieve some of the ambitions that he's got? That's what we're going to find out, and I look forward to it. You know, all I've got left to say is just, you know, thank you to the Kingdom for hosting this event. Thank you to the Ministry of Sport and to Skills Challenge Prince Khalid. It's been very welcoming and inviting so far, and I'm looking forward to the event. That's it.
Numerous fights that tried to get planned. They were canceled for various reasons, but on February 26th, the talk is over. The truth at Dir'iyah happens, and it goes down. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury happens at Dir'iyah. And with that, Jake, we'll ask you to please come in the front and pose, and we'll wrap up the press conference.
He's going to pose right there. He's going to face off that guy.
All right, thank you, Amir. Thank you, Jake. All right, this way for the pictures. And we'll take it over to the media wall. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Welcome to Saudi Arabia. We look forward for the fight on the 26th of Feb 2023. شكرا أصحاب السمو، شكرا حضورنا الكريم أصدقائي الإعلاميين. أرجو التوجه إلى الجهة الأخرى للمقابلات الإعلامية والأسئلة. We conclude today's launch event. Thank you all for attending. We look forward to seeing you on the 26th of Feb. Paul versus Fury, the truth at Dir'iyah. To all people watching us live worldwide, from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the world, stay tuned. Thank you so much.